Just look at this. It's breathtaking. It really is. And it lasts all day. It's gonna look fantastic. After, I'm gonna try as long as I can, but I'll update somewhere on the screen how long I wore this for and how well it lasts. I'll show a picture of my face right here after however many hours. This is such stunning makeup. Here's a close-up. I kept my base like a natural looking glam, like I have a soft glow. I have a lot of makeup on. This is still a full face of makeup. Soft glam is still a full face of makeup. A lot of people don't realize that, but this just looks a lot more melted in together. It feels like you, but even better and camera ready. All of these products are gonna photograph so well, and these are a lot of products I actually use on a lot of my clients. So if you want to see how I did this look, just keep on watching. Before I begin, we just need to take a moment for my hair. Look at this. I just took it out of the overnight blowout. Looks so good. I did a blowout with my Wavy Talk heat heated tool, heat round brush. I don't know. I posted that. So if you want to see how I did this blowout, that's there, and then how I used the overnight blowout rods to preserve it, give it extra volume, and it's going to keep giving me this for the entire week. That video is up as well. So now I can put my hair back in and start the makeup. Okay, when it comes to skin prep, especially for makeup that you need to last super long, your base needs to be nice and hydrated. So I actually have on polyglutamic acid from the Inky List on all over my face, and then the moisturizer from Inky List, the peptide one, the biopeptide, I don't know, it's bio something. I'll put it on the screen somewhere. I have that all over my face, and that's just going to keep my base nice and hydrated, because if your skin loses moisture throughout the day, you're gonna start getting cakiness and, I mean, maybe even pilling and creasing here and there on your face. But after everything sinks in, you want to give it a good bit of time to really sink in, and then go ahead and start your makeup. Now, I typically will recommend skipping SPF, but if you really do want to wear SPF on with bridal makeup, I highly recommend the one from Sunkiller. It's SPF 50 PA4+. It's a Japanese brand, and it looks so beautiful under the skin. It really does almost act like a primer. That one is like the only one I really recommend for when it comes to full-on bridal glam makeup or just any makeup that you need to last long. But I went ahead and applied my primer. I just used the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. Works fantastic. This is popular for a reason. I'll actually go ahead and color correct. I have the Bobbi Brown Skin Corrector Stick in Light Peach. This one is really nice because it almost doesn't look like it's like an orange corrector. I know there's different tones with this brand. This is just the one I personally am using for me. I'm just touching up the places where I have some hyperpigmentation, basically where I get some grayness if I go a little bit lighter with foundation. But this one is such a beautiful one, and I'm going to use the Tio Y'all brush. I have a makeup brush video recommending a lot of affordable brushes, and this one came in a set of 3. They're 3 different sizes, but all 3 brushes were only $6.99, and this has just been my go-to concealer brush. Well, look at that. It just covers up darkness. It doesn't feel heavy at all, and I don't know how, this is a stick product, but this doesn't crease. But I am laying this down first before I do my concealer, and the primer is going to really grip onto this and it won't budge. Anytime I'm layering a lot of makeup on, I like to dab. The more you start rubbing, especially when you have a lot of different layers on, the more likely you're going to get pilling. So just keep that in mind and just take your time and start dabbing. If you find that some products are dry, they dry down really fast, just apply in sections, put a little underneath your eyes, things like that, and then move on to the next section after blending it out. But this one, it almost doesn't look like I need another concealer on top. It's a fantastic one. I'm going with my favorite foundation. This is the Maybelline Lumi Matte Foundation. I'm in the shade 118. This is beautiful. And for me, I like to start with a pump and kind of dot it all over my face, just so it's easy to spread once I use the makeup brush. And because I used a grippy primer, I will need a little bit more product than normal. But overall, you want a good bit of coverage when it comes to bridal makeup. Even though this is going to be a more natural looking finish, you still, like, just for camera ready bridal looks, you really do need a good bit of makeup on. But see, I'm going ahead and dabbing this out, and I'm using the e.l.f. Stain and Tint blending brush. This is such a gorgeous brush. I mean, you can rub if you want, but since I have the tacky primer, I'm just going to take my time and dab it out. And this will also give like a smooth finish. But this brush is very, very comparable to the Makeup by Mario F4 brush, and I really like it. And this one's $5. So if you're on a budget and you're looking for a similar brush or just a good foundation brush, this one is fantastic. I don't know if I'll ever even try this as a stain brush, but this one, it's perfect as a foundation brush. Now you can go ahead and rub your foundation in like this, but I still recommend dabbing where you have other layered products on, like where I have my colored concealer, colored corrector. And then the rest is fine like this. I always layer my cream products first and then use my powders. So next I'll go in with some cream bronzer, and I absolutely love the Milani one, and I have 2 shades. I'm going to start off with Hey Honey, and I'll just use the same e.l.f. brush and just really, really warm up the face. I go in pretty heavy with the lighter, warmer shade, and then I'll go in with a lighter hand with the deeper shade to bring even more dimension. Like, the goal of this one is to just warm up the face. And it's such a gorgeous one. Like, of all the drugstore bronzers, cream bronzers I've tried, this one is top. And now this makeup, I'm focusing on like natural dimension. So I'm focusing on like my features, but I'm gonna point out what to look for your features. So just where you want more dimension, because if you use enough foundation, it's going to flatten you out. So definitely use, I mean, just these, honestly. You can use, you know, the shades close to you. Get one that's a little bit closer to you, like this one is closer to me, and then use a much deeper and cooler shade to contour. And I'm gonna use just a little bit right here. And then I'm gonna actually use a more defined brush. This is AOA Studio E111 brush with the deeper shade, and this is the shade Spicy Season. I'm going to just define my nose quite a bit. See, this one is like a nice cooler shade, so I can double it as a bronzer and contour, at least for me. And as someone who gets really orange really easily with a lot of different bronzers, this one doesn't do that. It's amazing. And then you'll have to learn how to contour your own nose for your own face shape, but I'm really looking to bring definition back, especially for cameras. Everything goes flat on camera. So I'm doing this. I'm gonna let this sit for a second, and I'll go in with my bigger brush. This is the e.l.f. brush again, and define my face a little bit more. And I'm hitting up like the sides of my eyes right here, because I do plan on having my eyeshadow kind of melt into my face, and I will be using similar tones there. And then of course, like my temple, but I'm keeping it pretty high. And for bridal makeup, you really want to get into your hairline. For me, it's really hard to get at the top because of all my baby hairs, but I mean, just hairspray your hair, like finish your hair first. Pin away sections that might get in your face, but use a hairspray or hair gel on your hairline just to get all those baby hairs out of the way. And that's typically what I do, but I'm not planning on doing that right now. Okay, but I'm using the edge of this brush just to get a soft blend, but I don't want to blend it out too much. And when I use setting powders, it's going to take away some of that harshness. And then also make sure you're getting your jawline. And I like to hit just like this little corner right here. I don't like when it's like completely lighter here. Like I still need warmth on the perimeter of my face. So it's just kind of like whatever excess is left here, I will use. And then of course, any makeup that you're using, carry it down your neck and down to your chest. That is so important. But making sure everything looks even and nicely blended. Oh, so pretty. Cream blush. You can really vary what you want to use for this look, but I absolutely love this shade for like my more natural glam bridal looks. And this is the Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush in She Seductive. Gorgeous. Switching to the Makeup by Mario F4 brush for this one. I just have a lot of bronzer on the other one. Oh, it's such a gorgeous color. Now when I look for, since I am going to be layering quite a bit and I don't want makeup to slide off, I focus on using higher impact products. So this has a lot more pigment than a lot of other cream blushes, and that's why I specifically chose this one, because Morphe has something very, very similar. The shade is almost an exact match, but it is a little bit lighter in pigment, so I'd have to use more of that. So that's why I chose this over that product. Look how pretty that is. Now, time for concealer. I really just want this to kind of melt and just look natural, but still have a lot of coverage and some brightening. Now, Hourglass is just my go-to when it comes to any bridal makeup I do. This is the one I do on clients, and it's just, I really like the formula. It can be drying. You want to make sure you're really, really well hydrated before you use this, but this is the shade Oat, and it's just like a perfect brightening shade. I'm going to use that same TOEL brush, putting a little bit on the back of my hands. It'll just help warm that product up, and I'll focus this, like, look at that coverage. I really didn't use that much here, but melting this in, and I'm hitting up the side of my nose just to snatch up my nose a little bit more. This inner corner. Oh, so beautiful. And it actually sets pretty fast. So that's why I recommend going in like this versus putting this straight on your face. And you can also control how much brightness you're getting. But grabbing a little bit more and then doing this. And this just gives such a nice natural finish. There we go. Again, I don't want to rub. I have a lot of layers starting to go on. Just dabbing, and I'm taking my time and blending it into the blush. Just taking a touch more just to apply on my eyelid, get it nice and prepped. And for this look, I am going to be doing a more natural look. I mean, it's still going to be a pretty dramatic look. Just because it is bridal, you do want to have like a good bit going on. You don't want the camera to really flatten your face, make features just look more blah. Honestly, like, you won't look, I mean, depending on who your photographer is and how good they are at their job. But I always recommend just applying a little bit more. And then since this is a brightening shade for me, I'm going to also just use whatever's left and hit up where I like to have a little bit of brightness on my face. Now I'm going to show you, even though this is a full face of makeup, how we can still make this look very natural, very put together. We're going to be using both fixing and setting mist. So I want this to kind of melt down together and to stick together. I'm going to go ahead and use the Pixie Makeup Fixing Mist. It just says rose water and green tea. I don't really care for it. I'm giving it a little shake, and let me cover my hair. Yeah, I've just messed up my hair so many times with some setting mist. So I'm just protecting my hair real quick, and I'm going to go ahead, because last time the sprayer like attacked me. Let me wipe this off again. I think after wiping it helped. Okay, here we go. And go pretty heavy. It smells good. Hopefully you're not sensitive to fragrance. This is gonna help melt everything together. And I'm keeping my eyes closed because I don't really want my eyelids to crease. But this one works so well. This one's my favorite. I feel like I haven't really heard very many people talk about this one, but I think it's a really underrated product. And I think it's like mid-range price, maybe $14 to $20. I have to check. I was just like in a hurry and just grabbing a couple a little while ago, and then I absolutely fell in love with this one. This looks like it's melted in pretty well and dried down, and now time to use my powder product. So first I'll set, and I have two products to recommend for brides. One, so I'm going to use this one. This is the Wet n Wild Loose Setting Powder, and this one is just a game changer. It really like makes your makeup last. It's beautiful. Now I do get a little bit of oiliness under my, like around my nose, even though I have relatively dry skin. This still doesn't dry my under eyes out, but this one's a pretty good one. And this is like a more skin tonish shade, so this one actually looks beautiful on your under eyes. And I actually forgot to dab the excess off here, but I just take this on a cotton triangle puff, dab it on the lid, and I'll pretty much mattify my entire face. Now this is just gonna help your makeup last. You can always add a glow back on top, but if you have any texture and you want your makeup to last, like in general, you really do have to set your face. But I will be showing how you can get a nice glow back at the end, but I'm just dabbing this all around. Oh my God, I keep forgetting to. Now I only will lightly set around where I have my blush and bronzer, just kind of with excess here, because I really want to set it with the powder bronzer and blush that I've chosen. It'll just add more depth and it'll really help your makeup to show on camera. Now I have a lot of bronzers to recommend, like overall, but I think for a lot of my brides, I actually lean towards this one a lot. This is the Haus Labs Power Sculpt Velvet Bronzer, and I'm using the shade Terrasol on me. And then I have this brush from Kingsmith, and I'll just dust it on. So I'll kind of tap it and then really work it into my brush and just dab it. And it literally just looks like a tan on my face. This just makes you look so healthy. I think this is such a beautiful bronzer. The finish of this reminds me of the Hermes bronzer, and that's my favorite bronzer of all time. But I didn't want to pull up the Hermes bronzer here because I kind of wanted to bring up the products that are worth splurging on, and this I would say is worth splurging on. This Haus Labs bronzer is so beautiful. Now the Hermes one, like, it feels different in the pan, but this one is still such, like, the finish itself is gorgeous. It has a subtle shimmer to it, but you can't really see any shimmer flecks or anything like that. Now when it comes to any like natural glam bridal makeup, I really like to go heavy on the bronzer. So I'm also taking some on the tip of the brush and just hitting up the top of my nose to make it look like a healthy tan. Like this, I'm not focusing as much as like a contour, literally the top of my nose. There we go. Just looks so gorgeous. I might actually add even more at the end, but getting a nice dusting all over. And then of course get your chin and a little down your neck, and of course on your chest. For blush, I'm going to use the powder side of the She Seductive blush. It's just beautiful, and I'm focusing this right on the top right there. I don't want to, since I spread out the cream one pretty far into my face, I'm just going to keep this focused right at the tops. And blush placement, blush placement is going to change for everybody. So you just have to figure out what works for you. I'm going to add a second like bronzy product here, but this is the NYX Buttermelt Bronzer in the shade Buttercup. This is such a beautiful, like, I've been using it as a blush, but I'm going to melt this on top of everything. And yes, I am layering a lot of powders here, but I will be using that fixing spray again to melt all of this together, and you're going to see how beautiful all of this looks. But since this is a bronzer, I can kind of pretty much hit up where I have a lot of my bronze, but look, gorgeous. Got my second layer of fixing spray on. Stuff gets everywhere. I'm gonna let this dry. Don't want my eyelids to crease. Just look how everything melted in. Everything just, it's really just locked in. It looks beautiful. So I'm gonna go ahead and start my eyes. I have the Morphe Micro Brow Pencil in the shade Java. And for this type of look, I mean, I just fill things in and leave it be. I just fill in the sparse area, so like up in the front right here and where I have kind of like a missing arch. But I really love this pencil itself. I have multiple shades of these in my kit. They're all like perfect cooler tones, just for eyebrows a lot of times, most of the time. Cooler based brows just look a little bit more natural, and we just want to bring your natural definition in. So I mean, not everyone, of course. There's going to be some people that look fantastic with a warmer brow shade. But for me, this is just what works. And especially because I'm someone that dyes their hair blue-black. I need something that is like charcoal, but not black. And this is perfect. You can set your brows if you'd like. I prefer a more natural, like fluffy look like this. So I'm going to leave it like this. Now for my eyes, I would actually recommend using a warmer neutral palette. There's so many out there. You don't have to use this specific one. I'll just kind of guide like what you should look for or what to do with the shades you have. But today I'm actually going to try out the Morphe. This one, I swear Morphe isn't sponsoring me. I really, really want to work with them. I genuinely have bought all of these with my own money. And I still have more that I haven't even tried yet on my channel, but we're gonna try this one out. This is the Moonstone eyeshadow palette. And I am aware they have a warmer one as well, but the warmer one, it just seemed a little basic to me, and I have so many warm palettes. So I have this, and then along with me, I have the Kylie Cosmetics Pressed Powder Palette. I don't even know if there's a name for this. This one, it's like warmer tones. I bought this a while ago. I've never even used it. So don't, if it's like wedding, like if it's like close to your wedding day, don't try new makeup. Like do this well in advance, but I can pretty much work with most products, so I'm not too worried. But I am gonna start with a warmer product here. I'm using the shade Natural right here and starting to get a little bit of warmth in my crease. This actually looks like it might be a bit light. It's okay. This will be a good transition to my brow. But yeah, just a touch of that, I guess. And then I'll use the shade Nude right here. I just want a little bit of warmth before I dig into the Morphe palette. I mean, the tones in here are nice. Since I had this palette, that's why I didn't grab the Makeup by Mario palette, like the original one. I still kind of want it though. But I don't think I need it because I have so many warm, like neutral palettes and like just matte palettes in general. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy it. I don't need it. Like actually, I don't need it. But getting a nice warmth here. I'm also taking this like down the side of my nose right here because this is just adding a little bit more emphasis on like your makeup melting into your face, and you'll just have to find the right shade for your complexion. I'm just very high contrast. I have very, very dark hair and brows, and I am relatively fair. I'm like light to medium, but sometimes it can look a little bit crazy. But even when I do like any inspired makeup looks, I tailor it to me. And just in general, anytime I do makeup on somebody, anytime I see an inspiration photo, I tell them it's not gonna look exactly like this because it's gonna be tailored to you. So whether that be a little less contrast, a little bit more contrast, more dramatic, I always point that out before I begin. I'm taking this out to where I have my bronzer right here to make sure everything blends out. And I forgot to mention, this is the Sephora crease brush. And I have a video on my current favorite makeup brushes, or just like more affordable makeup brushes and what's worth it. And this one was an honorable mention because these are actually fantastic. I'm also taking the shade under my eyes, just getting a nice smoke out. Now I'll dip into the Morphe one. I switched to the shadow brush. It's still like a fluffy-ish brush. It's just like oblong, so I can really pack on shadows. But I'll go ahead and use, let's do this shade since I have my crease built up. I probably could have just used these shades, but I'll go ahead and dab it right here on my outer corner. I typically like to basically contour my eye with eyeshadows per your face shape, but I typically carve out a little bit more on the inner corner, but I am going to do something a little bit more brighter on my eyes. So I won't be doing my normal type of eye mapping. And I'm taking my time, taking little bits and basically mapping out where I want my crease to sit, or where I want a lot of drama to sit. Now, when it comes to the shadow and the 6-pan ones, I feel like I like the 6-pan ones formula a little bit more. I don't know. I mean, this is just the first one I've touched, so let's see. I'm gonna go back in with the crease brush and this shade right here and just blend this out. It's easier to blend out another shadow like this when you have another shadow on the brush, just to soften it up, and it won't move the eyeshadow even further up. So this is like a safer way to do it. So it's just really easy to blend out like this. But again, I'm blending this down this way as well, so everything looks nice and cohesive. Going back to the shadow brush in that deeper brown shade, the shade that we used, and smoking this on my bottom lash line. That looks pretty good. Nice and softly blended out. Not going too crazy here. Although this is a softer look, I do want my eyes to have a little bit more of a pop. So I'm taking just a touch of foundation, just my Lumi Matte Foundation on this flat brush. This is the AOA Studio E123 brush. Just getting it nice, like thinned out on here. I'm just gonna dab this on my lid. And then out to the inner corner right here as well. Yeah, it's easier if you use foundation. Concealer can sometimes be pretty heavy. I mean, it depends how much coverage you want, but something like that just works great. I'm not looking to carve anything out. This is just to get a nice, like, even base for a more shimmery eyeshadow. Okay, that looks really pretty. Now I'm gonna go in, there's such a nice selection of shimmers here. I think I'll go ahead in with this one, and I might deepen it up with this one right here. So I'll go in with another one of the E123 brush, pick some up. I'll just dab it on like my inner corner right here. Okay, this is definitely a finger one, so let's do this. It's not easy to do this with nails. Dab this. Ooh, that's a nice like icy shade. Probably could have done a little, this look probably would have been best with like a more champagne-y shade, but that's really pretty. I'm just building up the intensity in the corner right here. And I'm not really trying to get anything on my lower lash line just yet. Okay, that looks really pretty. Now I'm gonna go in with my finger with this shade right here and just kind of blend this into my lid. Now I kind of want to grab that warmer one just so I have like a warmer, no, I don't need it. Oh my gosh. I'm trying to like de-influence myself because I do have a couple eyeshadow palettes on my wish list, but they're kind of pricey, so I'm trying to space out my purchases. But I mean, hey, you guys let me know. I'm looking at a lot of indie brands. Glaminatrix, Cleonade. Cleonade looks a little bit kind of pricey for me. I kind of want to do something a little starter, like the Nomad Fairy Tale Europe palette. So you guys let me know. Now I'm taking a brush, the E123 brush, and kind of packing that other shadow on here because I think this one is okay with the brush, but getting a nice blend, and look how gorgeous that is. I'm going to take that E123 brush again in that icy shade, just load it on the top of the brush. I'm going to try to collect as much as I can, and I'll go ahead and put it like right in my inner corner on my bottom lash line. It's going to give like almost like a wet look. Keep in mind, I'm much higher contrast than like a lot of people. So for me, for this to look even more like a natural bridal glam, I do have to put quite a bit here. So you can adjust per your complexion, your features, but I'm just trying to explain why I'm doing this for me. Now for eyeliner, you can use, so if you want a more natural look, use something that is closer to like your hair color. Like if you're a brunette, use something like a deep brown, but something a little deeper and richer. Because my hair is jet black and everything else is also jet black, I'm going to use this very dark gel liner. This is the Maybelline Tattoo Studio Automatic Gel Pencil in the shade 10 Pitch Black, but I'm gonna do my waterline, and then I'll also smudge this on my lash line as well, my upper lash line, and do a soft wing by using this and then using another brush to get a little wing out like. So I'll put a lot of product, like warm it up right there. Should have taken the brush out. And I'm going to use an angled brush. This is the Jessup MUL19 brush, and just do a little flick. Just like that. And I'll do it a couple times over because it kind of set a little bit. This one sets pretty fast. Just like that. And then, boom. For me, a nice, like for me, a really sharp wing liner doesn't really suit like when I'm doing something more softer look. So this is what I'll stick to today. Here's what the eyeliner is looking like. I did soft smudge, and then I used the black eyeshadow in the Morphe eyeshadow palette and smoked out, I mean basically topped off the liner, so it's just a little bit more softer looking but nice and set. Just the shade right here with the angled brush. Beautiful. My eyeliner is a little bit more dramatic than I was going for, but it's okay. Now for lashes, I typically use my Kiss Royal Silk lashes. Now when someone asks for more natural looking lashes, I have a lot of other sets in my kit. A lot of them I cut out because of the room, but I'm going to use this one today. It just says Kiss Volume Full Set. It's still pretty voluminous, but again, my eyes, I need that kind of drama and dramatic lashes. You'll just have to kind of feel it out, whichever works for you, how glam you want to go. But these are another ones I love to use on brides just because of how light the band feels, and it's super, super comfortable. I already trimmed the corners off because it has like a little plastic edge that sticks off, and I'm waiting for my dual lash glue to get nice and tacky, and I'll stick this on. I also went ahead and put on mascara because I have a lot of eyeshadow fall on my lashes and I don't want any grayness standing out underneath these lashes, and then also bringing a lot of definition to my bottom lashes. I've been loving this one. This is the AOA Studio Big Boss Mascara, so this is just $1 because it's so dark and I get so much like nice definition here, and I really do like it. This actually lasts pretty well, but in my pro kit, I almost exclusively use the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Mascara, specifically the waterproof one, just because you want your makeup to last. Use waterproof makeup, specifically mascara, especially if you're gonna be crying. I mean, the heat, you don't want anything to smudge. So L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Mascara, the waterproof one, is the one I love for brides, and they have a good shade range. Pick your shade, whichever works for you. I have like a dark brown and the jet black one. Works great. Okay, lashes are on. These are stunning, and of course, a little bit more dramatic than most like natural bridal looks will go for, but just swap out for something a little bit more natural. I honestly just have more glamorous lashes in my kit. If anything, I will cut these down, and I actually have individual lashes I can place on for someone that really wants a natural look, but I haven't had very many clients ask for that. So this is just, I really like it, honestly, I love it. But I'm gonna go back in with the Jessup MUL 19 brush, basically the angle brush, and use the black shade. I'm going to cover up the lash band. Basically, anywhere I have the shine from the glue or the band, I wanna cover up. So I'm just dabbing this on. It's just gonna look so much better in photos. The eyes look gorgeous. I'm gonna take a little bit more of a defined like blending brush. That was like an oxymoron. This is the Jessup MUL 12 brush. I'm gonna use this deeper brown shade just to add a little bit more smoke to my lower lash line. Sometimes after adding lashes, it can take some of the drama away and depth. Like, you don't wanna make sure you're like, if your lashes look like they're wearing you, swap them out. Or add a little bit more eyeshadow or a little bit more drama and depth to make it look balanced. So I'm adding just a little bit more, especially to this inner corner right here. There we go. Looks good. Now back to complexion. This is when I like to add a glow to my face if I want. I do have a subtle glow going on because of the NYX bronzer, but I love this product. This is the this is the Essence Pure Nude highlighter in the shade 10. Be My Highlight. This is just such a beautiful, natural looking highlighter. Just makes you look like you have a candlelit glow just following you around. I don't like any beaming highlights. If it's of course your taste, use it. You have to do what makes you happy, but I'm basically hitting up the inner portions of my face where if I had a candle in front of my face, where I'd want it to be highlighted. This just looks so beautiful, so soft on camera, stunning. But I'm focusing it like this. It's really hard to overdo this one, but basically all the forward facing portions of my face. If you want still like a lot of concentrated highlight, take another one, use your finger and you can just dot it on your nose, or you know, you can use whatever highlight you like, but this is just my go-to, and a lot of my brides love this one, and just basically use it like a finishing powder. It's fantastic. I mean, look, you know, when you're super up close, you can see that this is like, you can see there's a lot of makeup on, but far away and on camera, you're just gonna look flawless. Someone told me in one of my other videos, someone told me they thought I was AI generated, and I have never gotten a compliment like that in my life. Like, it's like your base looks so perfect, it looks AI generated. Maybe that can be another tutorial next, how to do AI generated look of makeup. Time for the lips. I have the Maybelline Lifter liners, and these are the best. These are everything I use on my clients. This and the Sephora collection, the newer lip liners, stunning. They both last so well because you just have to let it dry down. So here's how you do it. You put it on. Oh, and I'm using the shade On It. This one's just a nice cooler shade. Oh yeah. You have to kind of make sure you can't sharpen this too much because it's really soft. Little pieces coming off here. But you want to draw it on. And make sure, like, if you want a picture perfect, like, smile outline, like, smile and make sure your lips look even, like, on each side, like this. Yeah, I need a little more fullness on the side. Like that. It just helps even everything out. Once you have this on, don't touch it. Let it sit, let it dry down. It's gonna set and it's not gonna budge after that. It's dried down a little bit, and now I'm gonna add just a little bit more just to kind of give a soft blend. Don't rub, just dab. You don't want anything to lift, but that looks so beautiful. And then of course, let this layer dry as well before going in with lipstick. I'm just gonna use a lipstick today. I don't really like to use glossy products when it comes to making your lips combo last. And anytime I have a client that has like a glossy lip or something, I mean, just in general, I always give the lip combo on little baby mini lip gloss containers. But I am going to use this one today. This is the Huda Beauty Power Bullet Cream Glow in Buttercup. This is such a beautiful, like, center of the lip shade. Oh my gosh. And it's nice and hydrating. Look at the pigment. I'm just gonna keep it like right in the middle. Okay, that is it. Look at this makeup look. I'm not gonna use a gloss. I'm gonna do a wear test on this. Oh, actually, no, I'm not done. Okay, I went ahead and applied my setting mist. I have the Milani Make It Last Original. I mainly focus this like here and down, just a little on my forehead. I don't wanna mess up my eye makeup. So I'm gonna let this dry. Actually, let's just try again, hold on. Okay, I got it. I just didn't want to mess up my hair. It looks too good for that. Oh my gosh, look at this. Just showing you guys proof. I'm gonna do a wear test. It is 5:58 a.m., about 6 a.m. I'm gonna do updates here and there so you guys can see how this makeup is lasting. But I mean, it just looks so good. I mean, the setting mist is still drying, but I'm not going to be reapplying any sunscreen or anything like that today. I just wanna show you how traditionally, like, how this would last is if you wear this as a bride. Are you joking? Just look at this face. It literally looks flawless. This is a work of art. I hope I need this video to get like a lot of attention because I tried to share as many helpful tips here, and I don't know, you guys share this video to somebody that would probably enjoy this because I just want to help anybody and everybody, especially if you're trying to do your own makeup. I hope this helps. Yeah. That's it. I'm gonna keep testing, see how long this lasts. I'll update on the screen or clips here. Here we are at just about 3 p.m. So I have had this on for about 9 hours. Looks pretty good. I haven't touched anything up except just a little bit of lipstick on the inner portion of my lips. I haven't touched up the lip liner, but looks pretty good. It's just I'm seeing a little bit of shine on my nose, but not that much. And I have actually been cooking, chasing after my son, and I have gotten quite hot in the house. I am running a little bit of a fever actually. So yeah, I am actually like warm, like physically warm, but this is what the makeup is looking like 9 hours later. I feel like doing my whole setup right now for this update, but it's 5:39 p.m. Makeup still looking pretty good. This is just front camera. I just have just a little more shine on my nose, but that's pretty much about it. I haven't even touched up my lip combo anymore, but I am feeling some tightness underneath my eyes and a little on my forehead, and I don't like that. So I'm gonna use the Milani Make It Last Original Spray and just spray that over my face, maybe give a little hydration because it has glycerin in it. So we'll just do that. Pretty much dried down, and the makeup has a little bit of a glow, just ever so slightly. But it's kind of nice just to have everything nice and refreshed. I'm making this the last update because I am ready to get this makeup off, specifically the lashes. I'm just ready to sleep. I actually didn't sleep last night, but it is 8:56 p.m. So that makes 15 hours of wear, and this is what it looks like. I ate all the lip combo off, and I just had I've just been applying lip balm because my lips were so dry. But other than that, using the last round of the Milani setting spray really did help with that tightness feeling, and it really just set down really nicely. Let me look up so you guys can see if there's creasing in my eyes. Hold on. Okay, you guys are gonna have to look. I can't look up. Oh, I can't. Yeah, I'm not seeing any creasing underneath my eyes, which is why I absolutely love the Hourglass Concealer. And as long as you do your skin prep really well, it works fantastic. But yeah, here's 15 hours of wear. I absolutely could wear this a little longer if I wanted to, but I am just ready to hit the bed, honestly. So yeah, this still looks so beautiful. Now I kind of feel a little sad I have to take this makeup off, but it served me super well today. 3 outfit changes, lots of running around. I was outdoors for a little bit in humid Georgia weather, so everything's marinated really nicely on my skin, but it'll be nice to just throw on a nice sheet mask and go to sleep. Let me know if this tutorial helped you. I know this was gonna be a little bit more of a more natural glam, but I mean, for me, this is a little bit more subtle of a glam, but I mean, this is still pretty glam. So you guys let me know. I'll try again to do a more natural, warmer glam. I do want to grab the warmer version of this Morphe palette because, I mean, I like how Morphe has been putting all the shades together and they work so well. So I'll be grabbing that, and maybe I'll do an updated version, something a little less heavy glam. But let me know your guys' thoughts if you enjoyed the video, and if you want to see more of my face, you can follow me on my social media, where I will upload a lot of little tidbits here and there. But I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.